Is your law firm grossing less than $500,000? That's about $40,000 a month. It's about $10,000 a week. Would you like to have help with a proven plan to get your law firm over $500,000 and not have to work twice as hard? You see, most law firm owners with firms under $250,000, under $500,000, they have this idea that running $1 million law firm is like 10 times harder. And like, oh, I don't want to have $1 million law firm because I don't want to work that hard. And what they don't understand is that having a $5 million law firm is 5 times easier than having a $1 million law firm. And having a $1 million law firm is twice as easy as having a $500,000 law firm. And having a $500,000 law firm is much, much easier than having a $250,000 law firm. And having a $250,000 law firm, well, if you already have a $250,000 law firm, you know how much easier life is than when you were at $100,000, $150,000, even $200,000. The first stage really starts to shift around $250,000. How to Manage a Small Law Firm, as you may or may not already know, is the leading provider of outside CEO services for solo and small law firms. We function as the outside CEO for over 375 solo and small law firms, dozens of which are over $1 million. Single shareholder small law firms grossing over $1 million with happy owners who have amazing lives. But we understand that you want to get a taste before you commit to the whole thing. So about 6 months ago, my team came up with an idea, and they kind of roped me into it, but it worked out great. It's one of the great things about having a successful business is you get to surround yourself with amazing people who rope you into great things that work well for you. Anyway, so here's the deal. About 6 months ago, they came up with the idea of creating a virtual 4-week boot camp kind of experience. And they're still experimenting with the name. It might be called the Small Law Firm Success Boot Camp, or it might be called Be a Real Business Owner, the Grown-Up Lawyer's Guide to Rapid Law Firm Growth, or it might be called Predictable Profits, Total Freedom, Get Your Law Firm to Work for You. Okay, that one just bored me to death. The point I'm making is we don't know the name. Well, I guess that wasn't really the point. That's just obvious. Here's the deal. It's going to be a 4-week boot camp. Each week, you're going to get homework to listen to prepare you. You're going to get a workbook that you're going to fill in to get pieces of your business plan actually done. And you're going to have a live call for between 2 and 3 hours once a week with your group. And at the end of it, there will even be an extra special surprise bonus. But I don't want you to think about any of that right now. I don't want you to buy anything right now. Right now, what I want you to do is to opt into this free sample teaser video series. So here's the deal. There's 7 main parts to every successful law firm. There's 7 main parts to every struggling law firm also. The 7 main parts are marketing, sales, production, people, physical plant, financial controls, and you, the owner, your financial goals, your personal goals, your professional goals. That's number 7, goals. Once again, marketing, which leads to sales, sales which leads to production, production which requires people, people who need physical plant. Physical plant is the stuff, the policies, the procedures, the checklists, so that everyone's not running around like it's their first day at work and they're reinventing the wheel every day. You do all that right, and you're going to get to financial controls. And if you put all this together the right way, it helps you achieve your financial goals. It helps you achieve your personal goals. It helps you achieve your professional goals. So the 4-week boot camp, business plan, crash course, extravaganza, whatever they decide to end up calling it, it's going to cover each of these things over 4 weeks in a lot of detail. But before you sign up for that, I want you to sign up for this free video series that we're going to shoot today to give you like little teasers and tidbits, and we're going to give you some really good stuff to give you a taste of what it will be like to turn there's a term, little hinges swing big doors. So we're going to teach you some things today in this video series that we're going to go out and shoot. I'm going to explain the shirt. Yes, Jimbo. He's like, tell them about the shirt. I'm going to get to the shirt. I'm going to get to the sunglasses. I'm going to get to the hat. You'll get to that in a minute, okay? I'll get to that in a minute. I just want to assure them that we're not selling anything on this video series. This is something to whet your appetite. This is something to give you a taste so you can start to make a little bit more sense of your business, so you can start to get more clarity around your business, so you can start to do some little things to start making some more money and get some more freedom, even with just this video series that you can opt into here on this page. All right. Have I made that point enough? I've made that point enough. Now he wants me to talk about the shirt. Here's the deal. I'm going out on the boat. And my team was like raising hell. When are you going to do the video series? When are you going to teach these lessons? And I said, I'm going out on the boat. It's Friday, July, what is today's date?
25th?
It's Friday, July 26th. I'm going out on the boat. And I said, if you want me to shoot the video, if you want me to shoot these videos, send Jimbo to my house with a camera, and he can go on the boat with me, and I'll loan him an ocean shirt. Jimbo loves those ocean shirts. And he'll come out, and we'll shoot these lessons. We're going to shoot a lesson for you on marketing. We're going to shoot a lesson for you on sales. We're going to shoot a lesson for you on staffing, when, why, how to hire and make a profit with staff. We're going to shoot a lesson on financial controls, physical plant, and goals. If you think these lessons are total crap and a big waste of your time, then it ain't going to get much better, right? You're not going to like it. But that's not what's going to happen. You're going to get a tidbit. You're going to get a morsel. You're going to get a pearl of wisdom. You're going to get something from each of these videos that you're going to be able to apply to make your business better. And when your business gets better, your life gets better. And by the end of this video series, I'm calculating, you're going to say, wow, if that free video series that they shot on the go while out on the boat was that good, imagine what they could do if I gave them 4 weeks of my attention, which, by the way, will be offered with a 100% money-back guarantee, like everything we do. And then, of course, you know what comes after this 4-week amazing crash course where you're like, oh my God, I had no idea that I could make my law firm that much better with just a 4-week crash course. Then you're going to say, now I understand why all of these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of owners of small law firms from all over the country are raving about how to manage a small law firm. Speaking of raving about how to manage a small law firm, I'm going to figure out some way to get them to include a link somewhere where you're going to have the opportunity to watch a video reel of testimonials. It is what I call we will give you more video testimonials and case studies than you ought to have time to watch. All right? I'll give you hours of testimonials from hundreds and hundreds of lawyers. If you've got enough time to watch all these videos, either your law firm is kicking ass and working for you and you've got tons of free time, or else you got to stop fucking around on due diligence and actually get busy doing something to make your law firm work better. All right? The whole time I've been talking, hopefully there's been something on this page that they created for you to opt into this video series. And now I'm going to collect Jimbo. That's Jimbo cackling behind the camera. I'm going to collect Jimbo. I'm going to get my cooler. I'm going to get my stuff. And we're going to go out on the boat. And the first stop, well, I don't know where the first stop's going to be. The first stop will be when we get on the boat. Then we're going to go to the gas dock. Then we're going to go to the sandbar. Then we're going to swim around. Then, depending on the weather, we might meet the girls out somewhere, and they'll take an Uber and meet us for dinner. and then we might have like a moonlight under Miami cruise back home tonight. We'll see where the day takes us. All right? Opt in for the free video series, which is to follow, where we will cover marketing and sales and maybe not in this order, depends how the day goes, but we will at some point today cover marketing and sales. Marketing to get more predictable, better clients coming to you and to keep the wrong kind of clients away from you. Sales, which is how to comfortably, professionally, ethically, reliably convert prospective clients into paying clients. Production, so that the work gets done in a systematic, organized, consistent way, so that it's not like, everyone running around like a fire drill, like it's their first day at work, because that's no way to create freedom in your life. And we will talk about when, why, how to hire, train, manage, and make a profit with staff. And we're going to talk about physical plant, which I know that if you went to law school, unless you have an MBA or something like that behind your name, you probably don't have any idea what I'm talking about with physical plant, which might be part of the problem you might be having growing your law firm, and you'll know about it. And we're going to talk about financial management of a law firm, which will share a special treat with you of some teenagers teaching a really great lesson. I taught some teenagers in a teenage entrepreneur boot camp about financial controls of a business, and they then put on a presentation to teach their parents about it, and you'll get to watch that too. So there's no more excuses about this is too complicated for me, right? And then we'll talk about goals, financial goals, personal goals, professional goals, and the order will be dictated by the day. Isn't it a beautiful day? Beautiful day. It's probably too bright. All right. Opt in. All right, we're here at our first stop of the fuel dock, which seems like an opportune time to begin talking about marketing, because marketing is like fuel for your law firm. Get it? All right, in all seriousness, we are taking on 300 gallons of fuel, 150 per tank. We're at 25 gallons per tank right now, so I got a little while. I can teach you a quick lesson on marketing. First thing about marketing is to figure out what you're actually aiming for. So you figure out what is your net income goal. Forget about gross revenue. Is this better without the sunglasses or with?
I like with sunglasses.
You like with?
You see me in them. But
Okay.
I like your eyes. Your eyes. Leave them on.
All right. So, I got to stop the water. Hang on a second. We just filled the water tank.
Lesson interrupted.
All right. I'll fix that later. All right. So here's the lesson. You figure out what your net income goal is, right? Let's just say, for argument's sake, that your net income goal, to keep the math simple, is $100,000. $100,000 net income goal. In other words, it costs $100,000 to live the way I want to live in my life. Got it? Now, I'm not saying 100 is the right number or the wrong number. I'm just using this as a simple example to illustrate the formula that will improve the profitability and the effectiveness of your firm's marketing. All right, so you figure out what your net income goal. How much does it cost to live the way I want to live? For argument's sake, we're going to say it's $100,000. Step number 2, you figure out what is the profit margin that I operate my law firm at. You need to know some basic numbers to be in control of your law firm. This boat, for example, I know it holds 150 gallons. I know that at 27 miles an hour cruising speed, we get about a mile per gallon. That means I know that I've got just under 300 miles range, 300 gallons total gives me just under 300 miles range. So if I'm going to go from Miami to Bimini, which is 50 miles, I want to have a full tank. I don't need a full tank, but I don't want to be in the middle of the Gulf Stream and run out of gas. If I'm just going for like a little quick jaunt to the sandbar and I only have a quarter tank, no problem. You got to know what you're trying to achieve. So like I said, if you're trying to achieve $100,000 net income and you know your firm operates at, let's just say for argument's sake, a 25% profit margin, right?
And is that good?
It's reasonable.
Okay.
If you're growing a law firm slowly, if you have slow rate of growth, you can probably crank that up to 33, 35%. If you're growing your law firm very aggressively, your profit margin is going to be much thinner because it takes cash to grow fast. A lot of people with a very small law firm, $150,000 firm, I mean, they might be putting $100,000 of the $150 in their pocket, but that's illusory profit, because really they're
Wait,
doing
what kind of profits?
illusory profit. They think they're
Is that
making.
a word?
Yes, it's a word.
Okay.
Illusory. It's an
Okay.
illusion. They
Okay.
think they're making a profit, but it's not really profit, because they're doing the job of the receptionist. They're doing the job of the paralegal. They're doing the job of the associate. They're doing the job of the rainmaker. And so they're basically maybe only have a 20% profit margin, but they've got a bunch of part-time jobs. That's beyond the scope of this. Just to say, for argument's sake, that you want $100,000, and let's just say, for argument's sake, that you're going to run the firm at a 25% profit margin. All right? That means the firm has to gross how much? $400,000. Take your net income goal divided by your profit margin. That tells you how much gross income you need. You'll do some sort of fancy motion graphics to put that formula on here somewhere
Certainly.
in post-production.
Certainly.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
So let's just say $100,000 net income goal, 25% profit margin means you got to gross $400,000. $400,000. Now you take, let's say, your average case value. Some will be higher, some will be lower, they won't all be the same, but let's just say you figure your blended average case value, to keep the math simple, is $4,000. Well, if you need 100 cases, if you need open and close 100 cases a year, at $4,000, and you got to do $400,000 a year gross revenue with an average case value of $4,000, that means you need 100 cases, right? That's only 8 cases a month. That means you should be opening 8 cases a month, closing 8 cases a month, opening 8 cases a month, closing 8 cases a month. Gets pretty predictable. There's lots of fun. There's lots of ways to have fun and excitement owning a successful law firm. Being crazy and scared shitless about where your marketing is coming from and where your next client is coming from is not. That's a cheap thrill. Don't settle for cheap thrills. Let me just check and see where we are on the fuel.
I'll come with you. And what the hell does this have
60 and 70.
What does this have to do with marketing?
All right, we're at 60 and 70 gallons. We're halfway there. 60 on one side, 70 on the other. All right, we got to go to 150 and 150. Where does this have to do with marketing? Well, you got to know marketing is the fuel, right? That's the thing that powers your firm. You could have the greatest firm and you could have the greatest. I could have the greatest boat in the world. I could be the greatest captain with the greatest engines and the greatest everything. But if I don't have any fuel, I'm dead in the water. So marketing is important. So so back to the point. $100,000 divided by your average case value of $4,000. $100,000 divided by your profit margin, 25% in this case, means you got to gross $400,000. $400,000 gross, top line gross revenue, divided by your average case value of $4,000 means 100 cases. Means you got to open 8, close 8, open 8, close 8, open 8, close 8, and every time you close the case, you look to see, are we on track with our average case value or not? That's just something you pay attention to. Then you figure your sales conversion rate. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that you convert 1 out of 3 prospective new clients who come to the door. 1 out of 3 prospective clients who come to the door is a pretty decent closing rate, because you want to be selective. See, if your marketing is doing its job, you have more cases more prospective clients coming to you than you want, even more than you need, and it gives you the freedom and it gives you the confidence to be very selective about the cases you take. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that you're going to convert 1 out of 3. So if you know you need to open 8 cases a month and you're going to convert 1 out of 3, marketing has to bring in how many cases? 8 times 3 is 24, right? 24 cases a month, 24 prospective new clients a month come in the door with marketing. Sales converts 1 out of 3. That means you get 8 with an average case value of $4,000, which you monitor on the back end. Puts you on track to gross $400,000. You operate the firm at a 25% profit margin. Voila, you got $100,000 to live the way you want to live. There's nothing magic about $100,000. There's nothing magic about $4,000. There's nothing magic about the conversion rates or the profit margins. I was sharing this as an example. Will you be able to, in post-production, put the actual formula so they can actually use the formula and see it? Okay, good. Jimbo will do that. Thank you, Jimbo, for doing this. This is why we bring Jimbo along. All right.
Gotta earn my keep.
Gotta earn your keep. Listen, we all have to earn our keep. Coffee is for closers. Everyone's got to earn their keep. All right. So this is the big thing that most people don't bother to do with their marketing plan, and they say, how much business do you need? And the answer is always more. And the answer is as much as I can get. And the problem with approaching it that way is you have no way of knowing if you're on track or not on track. And it creates some very big problems if you don't have a real actual target that you're aiming for. Because you're always anxious, you're always nervous, you're always uptight. You never know if you have enough, you never know if you have too much. It's a really bad quality of life when you don't track this stuff. Calculate how much marketing actually has to bring to the door, and then keep track of it, and then you'll know months in advance where you stand.
Okay, so to reiterate, the big
Big lesson.
for marketing is really understanding how many leads need to walk through the door, right?
You start with your net income goal.
Yeah.
One of the pumps stopped at 92 gallons. Yeah, they're going to go to 150 and 150. I'll get back in there and keep it going. Thanks. All right. I know how much fuel I need. I know I need 150 gallons per tank. If I pull out of here with only 92 gallons per tank, I'm not going to have enough fuel, right? This is exactly the way most law firms are operating.
Yeah.
I mean, the analogy just like presents itself. All right?
Yeah.
Can we wrap this up?
Yeah.
I think I taught the lesson. I taught a
Taught the
valuable lesson.
The valuable lesson here is understanding how many leads are coming in through the door that marketing's bringing in, so you can make predictable income growth and success and goals. Correct?
Listen, happy lawyers make more money. You get your law firm under control. There's lots of ways to have fun. There's lots of ways to have an exciting life. There's lots of ways to have an exciting, challenging, stimulating career. It doesn't need to be like a frickin' roller coaster to keep you excited and engaged.
All right. So
This is not where you want to get your excitement from.
perfect. So what should we look forward to in the upcoming videos? What else are we going to cover?
It depends if we're going snorkeling or not. Are we going snorkeling or are we going to the sandbar? That will dictate
Yeah.
whether the next thing we teach is going to be sales or we're either going to talk about how to convert prospective clients into paying clients professionally, ethically, reliably. It's very, very simple to do. Or we're going to talk about all these things in this video series. I just don't know the order. We've already talked about marketing. We're going to talk about sales. We're going to talk about how to when and how to hire, train, manage, and make a profit with your staff. We're going to talk about how to document workflow processes and systems and procedures to bring some sanity into your life as the owner of a law firm. So every day is not like a fire drill, crazy chaos fire drill. We're going to talk about marketing, sales, production, people. We're going to talk about physical plant. I don't know where we're going to talk about physical plant, but at some point along the way, we will find something that will give us an inspiration to teach a lesson about physical plant. This is much understood and the most ignored part of a successful law firm, which is why so many law firms have so many problems and they hit the wall because they ignore the physical plant.
I do have one more question.
What's more question?
We're going to take marketing deeper on the boot camp, the 4-week.
Oh, the 4-week boot camp. Yeah, I mean, obviously.
We're not calling it a boot camp, but it's a boot camp.
Listen, this is the teaser. If they got one aha, if they got one moment of clarity, if one thing started to become clear, like, oh wow, I see a vision. I can have a better life. I can have more clarity. I can have more predictability in my law firm and in my life. If you got that from this free video, we're going to go much, much, much deeper into this in the boot camp crash course 4-week, the yet to be named thing that this whole thing is leading up to. Yes.
That hundreds of lawyers have been through in love.
Not quite hundreds yet. This is a new thing that we're experimenting with.
Okay.
But several dozen have been through it and they've loved it.
This is not the guinea pig.
You are not the guinea pig. The guinea pigs were 6 months ago. And they loved it. They loved it.
Tell them to stay tuned for the next video.
Stay tuned for the next video and write in with your questions. If you've got specific questions you want us to address, write in the form below and we will address them for you. All right, I got to check the fuel. Like, I don't know what's being recorded, but you're recording the video.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So I don't know how to teach that lesson without coming off. It's a marketing lesson. It's a great marketing lesson, really about networking, but I just don't know how to tell that without me coming off like kind of a show-off jerk.
Well, I don't know what happens, so it's...
Okay, so that guy is fueling up,
So
right?
there's another boat in the marina, essentially.
So we get, so there's another, the guy's there. He's got a name of the boat. Are you recording this?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm not going to say the name of the boat. I'm just going to say it's the name of a boat that obviously you have to be a lawyer. You can't not be a lawyer. You've got to be a lawyer if this is the name of your boat.
Right.
So I see him at the counter. You know, he's paying $1,000 in fuel. I'm paying $1,000 in fuel. I make a comment about the name of his boat. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm a blank lawyer." And I said, "Yeah, obviously." And I give him some compliments about his boat, genuine and sincere, because it's a pretty cool boat. An old boat that he retrofitted, and I love old boats that people retrofit. And he compliments me on my boat, catamaran. Does it really ride as smooth as everyone says? Yes.
Yes,
does
it does.
Does it? It does. Is it really as efficient? Yeah, all the stuff. I'm talking to him because I'm hoping he kind of like gets around to asking me what I do.
Right.
So I can like maybe strike up a conversation, and I help lawyers make more money with their law firms. And he might say, "Oh, tell me more,"
Yeah.
right? But he doesn't know what I do. He has no idea why I'm making small talk with him, right?
Not even cluing into the fact that you understood his boat name, is that right? Like, that's the giveaway. to
Not
me.
even cluing into that.
Yeah.
And here I am with and this is the part where I don't want to come off like a show-off jerk.
An expensive boat? Is that what this is about?
Yeah, here I am with a
boat.
$400,000 boat. I
Yeah.
just dropped $1,000 on fuel, and he's not going to like
Be curious.
be at least curious. Maybe you're a person who could refer business to me at some point. Maybe you're a person who has some kind of a problem or an opportunity that I could solve, either directly with the services my firm provides or through my extensive network of being in business in the city.
Yeah.
I mean, this is networking 101. Be a center of influence. Always be looking to expand your network. Solve problems for people, even if the problems aren't the problems. Even if they don't have legal problems, just solve their problems. Every time someone's got a problem, I want them to call me. And, you know, I refer tons of people to my old outboard boat mechanic from my old boat.
So this is what I'm getting from all of this, is that you never know where referrals can evolve from. Or you do if you're paying attention and you're talking
No, you have
to
no
people.
idea. You have no idea where your referrals are going to come from. The point is you want to position yourself as a person who is constantly putting your marketing message out there. Say your magic statement. I help lawyers make more money.
So what is a magic statement? For those of you that don't know.
You know what? I'm not going to go into what a magic statement is right now because I'm sucking shit out of my boat. If you want to know what a magic statement is and you want to make your networking a million times more effective,
Yeah.
and you want to know how to start every meeting with every prospective new client in a way that's going to be more productive, and you want to know how to start every speech and every article, and basically the centerpiece, the centerpiece, the crown jewel of every piece of marketing that you're going to do that'll make everything you do in marketing more effective, you'll understand what a magic statement is. And I'll teach it in the
not boot camp.
Not only will we teach it, but we will even workshop it with you to help you get yours refined and dialed in. And that alone is worth way more than the entire price of the 100% money back guaranteed workshop. I'm sorry, I'm sweaty, and I've just been pumping fuel and pumping diesel and sucking shit, and literally sucking shit. This is literally sucking shit. When you hear people say my law firm sucks shit, this is literally sucking shit. All right, physical plant and how to make a profit with staff before I get in the water. There's 7 main parts of a successful law firm. I know I keep repeating this, but that's because there's only 7 main parts of every successful law firm, and they're the same 7 main parts of every struggling law firm. I've been into so many struggling law firms, and I've been into so many successful law firms. And by successful, by the way, I mean a law firm that is, number one, serving the financial needs of the owner. If your law firm is not serving your financial needs so that you can live the way you want to live, I don't care what else you want to say about it. It could be a fun law firm. It could be a law firm that does a lot of good for a lot of people. But as a business venture, it's got to serve the financial needs of the owner. To be successful, it also has to serve the personal needs of the owner. If the only way for you to make the net income out of the law firm to live the way you want to live, emphasis on want to live, not what you'll settle for, not what you'll tolerate, not what you've, been willing to put up with, but really how you want to live. Remember, your law firm makes a profit by helping other people, right? So saying I'm willing to live like crap is really saying I'm not willing to make my law firm help more people, or I'm not willing to let my law firm help more people, because that's how law firms make a profit, by helping more people. They help your clients, they help your staff, and as a byproduct, they help you as the owner live the way you want to live financially. If you set up your systems and your processes and your procedures properly, it gives you tremendous control over your time. Today's a Friday. Here I am. Why am I out here on a Friday? Because I invested the time to document and to think through, to identify, think through, and make rational decisions about how I wanted my operating systems to work, so that I could then hire people with the necessary skills and train them using some kind of objective criteria and manage them and hold them accountable against the objective criteria. Jimbo, you see how I'm doing that? I'm like, as I'm kind of rambling here, I'm actually teaching them the lesson. I'm gonna connect all the dots for anyone who's not following along. Don't worry. But I think a lot of them are.
It's
so
crystal clear.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so
here's what I would love. I love how you told me it drives you crazy when people say my business is my baby. Is that appropriate here? It feels like it, but it may not be.
Listen, in 2011, 2012, 2013, I spent more nights on the road doing CLE speeches all over the country on the national CLE tour sponsored by Microsoft, LexisNexis, Firm Manager, LawPay, Ruby Receptionists, and I apologize if there's anyone who sponsored us and I forgot your name. And everywhere I went, the point is, I talked to thousands of lawyers just in those 3 years, and that's not even counting the tens of thousands of lawyers or the many more thousands of lawyers who I spoke to when I was a small law practice management advisor with the Florida Bar's Law Office Management Assistant Service for almost 4 years. The point I'm making is, I would ask, who thinks of your law firm like your baby? And everyone would raise their hands with pride. I think of my law firm like my baby. Your law firm is not your baby. That is a inappropriate and unhealthy and certainly an unprofitable analogy or role model to have between the owner of a business and their business and their law firm. So think about why we have children. We have children for non-economic reasons. I hope, right? I hope you didn't have kids thinking this was going to be lucrative, right? My kid will be the next Tiger Woods. I'll get rich, right? No. Think about if someone came to you with a business proposition like this. You're going to invest 18 to 25 years of your life. Sweat equity 24/7, right? You're going to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, if anything goes wrong, you're completely screwed in this financial investment. Are you going to make an investment in that business? Maybe if it's like, this is the next Google, this is the next Microsoft, this is the next Facebook, this is the next Apple, this is the next stock that's going to go from $1 to $1 gazillion. Huge ROI. Maybe I'll take this massive financial risk that parenthood guarantees us, right? No, but if everything goes right, after 18 to 25 years, we're hoping that maybe this business might break even and be able to sustain itself. That is not a good business model. We do things for our children. We make priorities for our children. We make sacrifices for our children because of love, because of emotion, right? Your business is not your baby. Your business does not love you. Your business is not going to give you a hug when you feel sad, right? You know, your business is there to serve your needs. A more appropriate, a healthier for you and healthier for the business and healthier for the staff and healthier for the clients analogy to use is the analogy of a farmer to a mule. So think about, why does the farmer have the mule? The farmer has the mule to pull the plow. That's it. The farmer has the mule to pull the plow.
Wait,
If
the farmer doesn't go to the mule soccer games?
The farmer does not go to the mule soccer games, right?
Okay.
The farmer has the mule to pull the plow. Now, you pull the plow for one reason, and that is to grow crops. And you grow the crops to feed your actual family. And if you do this efficiently, if you do this with an actual plan, then not only do you grow enough crops to feed your family, but you have enough crops left over to take to market to make a profit. No rational, sane farmer goes around bragging about how many hours they spent in the barn with the mule, right? My law firm runs so badly that I spent 50 hours in the office. No. I got something. My law firm runs so badly that I spent 60 hours in the office. No. My law firm, I got you all beat. My law firm runs so badly that I spent 70 hours in the office. Well, now let's compete on who has worse financial controls, right? My law firm is so badly managed that I've got $25,000 in accounts receivables out there with clients. Oh, that's nothing. My law firm is so badly managed financially, I've got so little financial controls in place that I've got $50,000 in accounts receivables. I mean, this is insanity. All right. This is not what you asked me to teach. You asked me to teach
but it's all related.
physical, plant, and people.
Yeah.
All right. Marketing leads to sales. Sales leads to production. People produce things using things. People produce services for your firm that the firm sells to the clients using things. The things the people use are part of the physical plant of the law firm, right? So the desks, the chairs, the computers, the stuff, the hard stuff that you can touch, that's the physical plant. But the physical plant of the law firm, the most valuable part of the physical plant of the law firm is actually its intellectual property. And the most when the day comes that your law firm gets sold, and make no mistake about it, someday your law firm will be sold. It will either be sold on your terms, on your schedule, with you in control, or it will be sold by your creditors on someone else's terms, on someone else's schedule, and you won't be in control, or it will be sold by your estate. But someday, somewhere, somehow, your law firm will be sold. And when that day comes, the main A+ number one most valuable asset that you can build, that you can create, that will produce real, legitimate, saleable equity on your balance sheet is going to be the intellectual property of the firm. There's two parts of the intellectual property that people who actually know what to look for when valuing a law firm, like me, we look for two main things when it comes to intellectual property. Three main things. Number one, A+, most important thing we look for is your client list and your marketing system. What marketing systems have you built? What marketing assets have you built that consistently, predictably, reliably bring prospective new clients to the door day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out? Something as simple as a monthly newsletter. I've got a monthly newsletter. I mail it out every month to 5,000 people. It costs me $10,000 a month to mail it out to 5,000 people. It costs me $120,000 a year to mail out this newsletter to 5,000 people every month. And every year, consistently, reliably, predictably, I get 20 new cases worth $5,000, which is $200,000. So it cost me $120,000, and it consistently, reliably, predictably brings in $250,000 a year of new business. That's not a great ROI, but it illustrates the point. You really want a 5 times ROI with your marketing dollars. All right, that's a whole different conversation.
Which will be covered in the boot camp.
Which we'll cover in the boot camp, yes. And all of the members of How to Manage a Small Law Firm understand this stuff like this is their lingo. They understand this stuff. You could too, and then life would be better.
It's almost like you are treating a law firm like it's a business.
It is a business.
Okay.
Right?
All right. It's my practice.
Yeah, I want to get in the water. So can I hurry this up?
Can you wrap this up for 12 minutes?
I want to get in the water. All right, so physical plan is all the physical stuff. It's also the intellectual property. The most important part of the intellectual property is your client list, your former client list, your marketing systems that you're using to engage and keep that client list and former client list engaged so they keep coming back again and again and again and again for repeat business or referral business. Second big part of your intellectual property are going to be your documented workflow, processes, systems, procedures, the instructions for how things get done on a consistent, predictable basis in your business. I think we're about to get boarded by pirates. Get the fuck away from here. We're shooting a marketing video. All right. Wouldn't it be funny if they came up to us and boarded us and we're like shooting a video?
Yeah, and they were actually pirates.
They were actually pirates, right? All right. So the documented workflow processes and systems and procedures. What is your client intake system? Documented. What is your file opening procedure? Documented. How do you draft a pleading? How do the things get done that must get done in your business in a consistent, predictable, reliable way? That has tremendous value. All jokes aside, that has tremendous, tremendous value.
But why? Why is that value?
Well, it's going to make your law firm work for you because with these tools, with this intellectual property, you can hire people. You have something objective and rational that you can train them against and hold them accountable against. Without documented processes and systems and procedures, it's virtually impossible to hire and build an amazing team. With documented processes and procedures, you can hire good people, give them good training, give them good management, and get predictable, reliable, good enough results. And that's all you need to build a multi-million-dollar business. Without documented processes and procedures, you're constantly looking for these purple unicorn, superstar, prima donna. They arrive on a flying carpet and they fart rainbows. A much better way to build a law firm that runs like a business that works for you is with good people who get good training and get good management and have objective, rational, fair, balanced accountability with documented processes and procedures and systems and all the stuff that we're going to teach in lots more detail during the boot camp. You can be really, really ruthless on the problem and still be humane with the people.
I love that. Will you say that one more time?
You can be ruthless on the problems and good and soft and humane with the people, which of course takes most of the fear and the anxiety and the agita out of hiring and training, managing. Okay, people. Your law firm has a receptionist, a secretary, a paralegal, an associate, a rainmaker, a manager, an owner, a CEO, a COO, a CFO, and a bookkeeper. 11 main positions, right? I'm wearing my receptionist hat. I'm wearing my paralegal hat. I'm wearing my associate hat, right?
Yeah.
The job you're doing is not defined by your credentials or where you went to school. The job you're doing is defined by the credentials required to do the job, right? If a person with a high school diploma and good processes and procedures and good training can do the job of a receptionist, for example, just because the person doing the job of the receptionist happens to be a lawyer who graduated from an amazing law school and has a terrific record in the practice of law doesn't mean the job should be compensated at that level. The job should be compensated at the level required to do the job. It's a huge mistake that law firms make. There's tons of false economy going on out there with lawyers who think they're saving money, but really they're wasting tens of thousands of dollars a month. You thought I was going to say a year. It's monthly. Money just going down the drain because lawyers think that they're saving money, but they really have false economy. All right, so when, why, how to hire, train, manage people. This is a two-part video, so I'm going to go a few more minutes, and then I'm getting in the water, for real.
The low battery mode is about to give out.
Okay.
So you better wrap it up, man.
Number one big mistake to avoid when you're building a law firm, especially if your revenues are under $500,000, is do not hire helpers. Do not hire helpers. Do not hire helpers. How many different ways could I say this?
I feel like I should hire helpers.
Don't hire helpers.
Okay.
Hire replacements. The first position you should hire should be the position that gives you back time. Not the person who helps you do your job better. The person who relieves you of different responsibilities, right? So when it comes to associates, I've seen lots and lots and lots of lawyers make this tipping point kind of mistake. They go this way and they hire an associate who can help them, who can be an assistant to them, and they get trapped around $300,000 to $500,000 in gross revenue. They hire their first associate as a lawyer who's as good of a lawyer or even a better lawyer than them, and now they're free to work on the business and really grow the business. One of the things that we will definitely teach you in the 4-week boot camp crash course, yet to be named, they'll probably change the name between now and then, program that I'm hoping this gets you really excited for, is we will teach you how to hire these people, and really we'll talk about why a great lawyer, maybe even a lawyer as good of a practitioner as you, maybe even more experienced practitioner than you, will want to come work for your under $500,000 law firm, and how the economics of that really work in your favor. It's too detailed to get into now, and it is hot, and I'm getting in the water, so turn that off. I'm going to swim with the pirates.
Yeah. All right, and stay tuned next time for something. We'll put titles up there, RJon. Don't get in the water with that microphone.
Oh!
Good job. I mean it.
Did you turn it on?
Yes.
Is mine on?
Yours is on.
Okay, look at this. See?
Oh, money.
All right, so I'm standing over here.
Yeah.
Here, this is yours.
Wait, that's good.
Sales. All right, listen, guys. Sales is the lifeblood of any business, not just a law firm, any business. If you can sell, you have so much freedom in life. Freedom in business comes from the ability to sell. And the key to having freedom in sales is understanding that sales is a service. Sales is something we do for our prospects, not to our prospects. Sales is all about helping a person find clarity in their life. Clarity about where their life is today, clarity about where they want their life to be in the future, and clarity about where their life is likely to wind up if they don't make some decisions now. Now, that's kind of high level stuff, but it really is that simple. Let me give you a couple practical tips for when you're selling legal services starting tomorrow, right? Most people who are going to go to a law firm are going to be thinking about their life in terms of three main areas. They're going to be thinking about their life in terms of their time. They're going to be thinking in terms of their life in terms of their money. They're going to be thinking of their life in terms of their reputation. And this goes for consumer law firms as well as business-to-business law firms, because even if your law firm serves businesses, there's still an individual who's ultimately making the decision, and that individual is thinking about his or her life or career in terms of their time, their money, and their reputation. So it goes kind of like this. You meet with a prospective new client, and by the way, if you ever schedule an appointment with a member of my team, it's worth scheduling an appointment with a member of my team just to have this experience, right? The conversation starts like this. Thanks for coming in for the appointment. Thanks for scheduling the call. When we originally scheduled this appointment, we agreed that we were going to have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever the number of minutes is that you normally schedule your appointments for. By the way, here's a tip. I'd rather you schedule an hour-long appointment and increase your conversion ratio rather than keep trying to do these 30-minute bullshit appointments that people keep trying to do and their conversion rate is crap. Do a 90-minute appointment and you'll see your conversion rate will not only go up, but your price resistance will go down and you'll end up with a much more cooperative client also.
Why is that?
Well, because you have the time to really provide a valuable service for the prospect to help them truly think through and make sense and find clarity about, you might be the only person in this prospective new client's entire life who is willing and interested enough to take the time to help them think through and articulate where they are now in terms of their time, their money, and their reputation, where they want to be in terms of their time, their money, and their reputation, and really help them find the courage to think through and face the reality of where their life or career is likely to end up if they don't make some changes today. Because, life is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. This is our life. We're not going to get another one. So we got to make the best decisions we can today so we can have a better life tomorrow. I don't want people waking up a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now with regrets that they didn't make a better decision 10 years ago. Oh, if I had only known 10 years ago that how my life would have turned out, I would have written a business plan. I would have taken 2 days out of my entire life to actually write a business plan that describes how my law firm is supposed to work. But instead, I'm going to spend the next 10 years of my life just like a hamster on a wheel. All right, sales. Sales. So it goes like this. Thanks for coming in for the appointment. And by the way, one of the things we're going to talk about if you do the 4-week boot camp thing that we're going to do is we'll talk about what we call the preconditioning glide path, that all the things that you set in place to precondition and pre-qualify and pre-educate and get the prospective client ready to have this conversation. And that happens in a systematic, consistent way that does not take a whole bunch of your time. All right, client gets there. Thanks for coming. When we originally scheduled this appointment, we agreed that we were going to take an hour. Does that amount of time still work for you? If they say no, some emergency has erupted, abort the mission. Help them solve the emergency that they've got, even if it's got nothing to do with the services of your firm. And respect that they're not in the headspace to make an important decision about their legal needs if their house just caught on fire. If they say yes, now's a good time to speak. Great. Number one, you've got their undivided attention for an hour. Number two, they know they've got your undivided attention for an hour. Number three, that you've got an escape clause in an hour. Number 4, they know that this is going to be an hour and they don't have to worry that this is going to be the appointment that never ends. You don't have to keep holding on to that blue thing if it's bouncing you around. Just let it float away. All right. They say, yes, an hour still works for me. Great. Before we get started, I want to assure you that everything we talk about will be kept strictly confidential. Now, you went to law school. I went to law school. We both understand this. But I promise you, when you say these words, I want to assure you that everything we talk about here today will be kept strictly confidential. Just say those words. Write those words down right now. Say those words, and I promise you, you will see a physical... You will see their shoulders go down. You will see the stress come away from their face. They will open up their body language. They will begin opening up to you about things that will amaze you and delight you. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to create a safe place for another human being to talk about what's going on in their life. You may be the only person they've ever met who created and cared enough to create a safe place like that. Before we get started, I want to confirm that we still have an hour. Does that still work for you? Yes, it does. Okay, before we get going, I want to just confirm, I just want to let you know that everything we talk about today will be kept strictly confidential. You watch them relax. Okay, to make the best use of our time together, I'd like to propose an agenda. May I do that? They're either going to say, yes, you may, or they're going to say, no, you can't. If they say, no, you can't, welcome to what it's going to be like to work with this person if you accept an engagement from them, right? Now, they might say, no, you can't, because I have a suggestion for agenda. Maybe their agenda is even better, right? They might say, rather than you proposing an agenda, let me propose that you just take my credit card and let me get started right now. Hey, great, that's a better agenda. You never know. These things happen. May I propose an agenda? Yes, you can propose an agenda. Okay, here's the agenda that I'd like to propose. I'd like to suggest that we first take some time to let me ask you some questions about you and your situation so that I can get a better understanding of you as a person and your situation and where you are now and what you're trying to achieve. Can we do that first? Yes. All right, then after I understand your situation and why you're here, then I'll be happy to share information about my firm and answer any questions you have. But that way, I'll be able to tell you only the parts that are going to be relevant to you, right? Because otherwise, if you don't take the time to understand them, you'll start blathering on and on and on about I went to law school here and and I've been practicing this long, and they don't care because it's not relevant to what put them there, right? So you're going to propose an agenda like that. They're going to say yes. They're going to appreciate that someone actually has this conversation is supposed to go. Then you get into the agenda. So you get all the information. You get their age, you get their income, you get their education, you get whether they have a house, you get what their credit rating is. Do they have a car? How much equity do they have in the car? Do they own their own business? What do they do for a career? All the questions that are relevant for your practice area. Different practice areas, you need to know different information, but almost always you need to know their age. You almost always need to know their marital status. You almost always need to know if they've got kids. How old are their kids? What do their kids do for a living? What is their education? What's the education of their spouse or significant other? What do they do for a living? How much money do they make? Because you need to get a picture of who this person is as a human being, not a case, not a client, a human being. Remember, sales is something we're doing for people as a service. All right, so first off, I think we should acknowledge that my wife Allie is the one operating the boat.
Where are we?
We are getting ready to head up the Miami River for dinner, and then we will have a moonlight cruise back home. Financial controls. All right, first off, you got to keep in mind, 10 years ago, I was, no joke, I'm not kidding you, I'm not exaggerating, completely and totally flat broke.
But RJon, how could that be?
Well, I built a successful practice, made good money, had a good time, helped a lot of people, did a lot of good stuff. But I did not put processes and procedures and systems in place to allow me to hire and build a team so that when my wife, who you just saw, got sick, I had to make a decision, and it was a clear and decisive decision, but nonetheless a gut-wrenching decision, to sacrifice my practice in order to take care of her. And she had an illness. She's fully recovered now, as you could see. But for 18 months, we were in and out of hospitals, and we didn't know what was wrong with her for a long time. And my time was invested in taking care of her, and my energy was consumed with what was going on with her, and I was unable to function. And because I did not invest the time, ironically, the shoemaker without shoes, the baker without bread, right? I had helped thousands of lawyers by this time build successful law firms, but I had failed to practice what I preach. So when I tell you, I mean, when I get all up in your face about you've got to build a business and you can't just settle for having a practice, it's because I don't want you to experience what I experienced. You know, it might not be you who gets sick. It might be your spouse. It might be your significant other. It might be one of your kids. It might be a parent. Life happens, right? I mean, as lawyers, we know this. We're in the business of dealing with the fact that life happens. So, look, financial controls. That's what we're here to talk about today before we go to dinner. But the life I have today, the problems that I have today are the things I used to fantasize about 10 years ago. I used to dream about and fantasize about the problems, the kinds of problems that I have today. And had I known then what I know now, if there was someone I built this business to do for you what I wish someone had done for me, because no one taught me this stuff. And I want to lay it out for you and keep it simple and not complicate it, and show you there's really only 7 main parts of every successful law firm, and you get these 7 main parts under control and your law firm works for you. If you don't get these 7 main parts under control, it's only a matter of time until something happens, and I don't want you to wake up with the shame. And I had shame, and I had embarrassment, and I had guilt, and I had regret that I knew better, but I didn't do better, and so it didn't do me any good. And so when Allie got sick, my life fell apart, and I went broke. We lost our house to foreclosure and everything else. And now we've got this amazing life that you could have an amazing life too. Financial controls. That's what I got to teach you, and then we're going to go to dinner before it rains. And then
give me one tip.
I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to give them something great.
Okay.
There are 6 key financial reports your bookkeeper ought to be giving you every month. If your bookkeeper is not giving you all of these 6 key financial reports, your bookkeeper is not doing the job they need to do to empower you to be in control of your business. Now, it might be that your bookkeeper isn't giving you these reports because you're not asking for them, or it might be that your bookkeeper isn't giving you these reports because you don't see the value in spending a few dollars to get the controls you need to be in control of your life. Or it might be that your bookkeeper is giving you these reports and you're just not looking at them, which is often the case. So here are the financial reports. Every month your bookkeeper should be giving you a 12-month forward-looking budget. A budget is not a historical record of what has happened. That's called a log. A budget is a 12-month forward-looking projection of revenue by category and expenses by category. Every month, your bookkeeper should be updating your budget based on what has happened year to date and then projecting for the next 12 months. Number 2, your bookkeeper every month should be giving you a cash flow projection. This is a projection week by week of when the revenue's projected to hit every week and when the expenses are projected to hit every week, so you can match them up so you don't have a cash crunch. This is how you prevent cash crunches. Or at least you can see them coming 6 weeks in advance while you're still empowered to be proactive instead of in reactive mode. Number 3, every month your bookkeeper should be giving you what's called a budget variance report. This is a simple comparison of what you projected was going to happen, column 1, which is also known as our best educated guess. And anyone who tells you that their budget is better than their best educated guess is bullshitting you, or they don't know what they're talking about. I have helped thousands of business owners build successful budgets and multi-million dollar businesses. Well, I haven't helped thousands build multi-million dollar businesses, but I've helped lots of people build multi-million dollar businesses. And I'm telling you, anyone who tells you that their budget is better than their best educated guess is full of crap. Now, with practice, your best educated guesses get better, but you can let yourself off the hook. It doesn't need to be perfect. Budget variance report is your projected revenues by category, your projected expenses by category, column 1. Column 2 is what actually happened in reality. Column 3 is the percentage of difference and the dollar variance difference. Column 4 is the reason why. And this is where you as a lawyer really are much more qualified and much better skilled and much better able to make use of a budget variance report than even an accountant, even a CPA. You as a lawyer can take your skills in discovery and investigation and research and analysis and analyze and figure out why did our projection not match reality? Why did reality not match our projections? And investigate the reason why. Get to the bottom of why. And then the final column, which is the most important column of all, is what's the plan? What are we going to do differently going forward based on our analysis of why reality didn't match our best estimated projection? That is your budget variance report. If I only had one financial report to look at every month, I would look at my budget variance report. Budget variance report, budget, cash flow projection, budget variance report, work in process, number 4. How much work do you have that's in process that you're building up value, you've got cost of goods sold sunk into it, but it's not yet ready to actually be turned into a bill and given to a client so that you can pay it. That's your work in process report. That tells you how much cash you're going to have 2-3 months from now by analyzing your work in process report. That also helps you analyze your cost of goods sold. Budget variance report, cash flow projection, work in process, accounts receivables. You need to be looking at an AR report. Maybe if you do 100% contingency, you don't have AR. But everyone else, you need to be looking at your AR report. You need to be looking at your AR report not by pile of money, but by name of client. Which clients by name owe us how much 30 days? Which clients by name owe us 30 to 60 days? Which clients by name owe us 60 to 90 days? Which clients by name owe us more than 90 days? And you've got to put a red rubber band around the file when the client owes you money. You got to stop getting deeper and deeper into the hole with the clients who owe you money. Now, obviously, if you let it go too far, there's situations where you can't stop working on the case. The trial is approaching. The judge won't let you out. You're what we call, the technical term is you're screwed. But you don't need to let it get that far. And with practice, you'll stop letting it get that far. And then you'll learn to use your trust account the way it was meant to be. Your IOLTA client property trust account was originally created in the 1980s specifically for the purpose of helping you avoid accounts receivables problems and to make your law firm more profitable. A lot of lawyers don't know that, but it's true. Jimbo, will you put a link here somewhere where they can opt in to get a free lesson on how to manage a client property trust account as the profitable law firm management tool it was originally meant to be? Will you do that?
For sure.
Okay, and the last thing I want to ask you to do for them is give them an option to opt in for a free you got to get a big slice of humble pie to watch this video, because of the last live quarterly meeting. So for the last couple of years, we've had our members have been asking me, will you teach our kids business? And so we have a kids entrepreneur club at all of our live quarterly meetings for kids ages 3 to 12. And the members have been asking, will you teach our teenagers about business? And so we ran our teenage entrepreneur boot camp at the last live quarterly meeting. And I taught the kids budget, how budgets work, cash flow projections, accounts receivables, all these things I'm teaching you. And I taught the kids how to figure out the difference between gross revenue, top line revenue, cost of goods sold, what it costs to deliver the actual services, gross profits, fixed expenses, to come up with net income. And you cannot lose money on your gross profits and think you're going to make it up on volume, notwithstanding the fact that lots of lawyers try to do that. Eventually, you got to pay the piper there. So I taught the teenagers how to figure out cost of goods sold and gross profits, and I got through the lesson with them in about 20 minutes. And afterwards, I said, you got it? And they all looked at me like, yeah, we got it. And I said, are you sure you got it? And they're like, yeah, we're pretty sure we got it. And I said, are you really sure you don't have any questions? And they're like, what are we missing here? We got it. And they repeated it all back to me. And I was like, I'm just a little bit surprised, because I taught 30 of you about this in 20 minutes. And normally when I teach this to lawyers, it takes me about 45 minutes. And they were like, what is so? Lawyers, we love to complicate shit, don't we? So at the Saturday night unplugged for our members at the live quarterly meeting, I asked the teenagers, would you like to get up on stage and teach this to your parents? And they said, yeah, we would. And of course I paid them too. And so Jimbo will include an opt-in if you want to learn about the difference between gross revenue, cost of goods sold, gross profit, and net income. And remember, net income is what your family cares about. Gross profit is what we talk about at cocktail parties. Net income is what gives you this, right? Gross revenue doesn't give you this. Net income gives you this. To get between gross profit and net income, you got to understand cost of goods sold and gross profits. Anyway, so Jimbo, you'll include a link where they can click to watch the lesson from the teenagers teaching this stuff. So you'll see this is not complicated. You can master this. I do not have an MBA. I do not have a CPA behind my name. My undergraduate degree was communications, law, economics, and government, which means I learned nothing about business or finance or any of this stuff. And if you know me well, you get to know me one day, hopefully. I'm not a math guy. I can't do math. I can count money. I can read financial statements, but I can't do math. You don't need to know anything about math, really, to really take control of the finances of your law firm. That's the most important thing to know, is you don't need to know math to be totally in control of the finances of your business. And having total control over the finances of your business will give you a better life. It really will, and it'll help you help a lot more people. So we got a lot of fun stuff going on in this video. We got the opt-in for the how to use your IOLTA Client Property Trust account as the profitable law firm management tool it was originally meant to be. By the way, that's like circa 2006, so don't laugh at what I sound like and what I look like, and I look very young. And we've got the opt-in for the teenage lesson on gross revenue and all that kind of stuff. And
what are we going to get in the boot camp then?
Is
there more to come?
Well, yeah, we're going to get into we're going to get into the details of all this stuff. By the end of the boot camp, you will feel in control of your finances, perhaps for the first time ever in your life. I promise you that. All right, opt in. I'm getting hungry. Let's go to dinner. It's starting to get dark. This is awesome. What a great idea to do this. Thank you for suggesting this, Jimbo. And by suggesting, I mean forcing me into it.
We're talking about goals.
All right. So,
What's goals got to do with it?
all right. Tell me when.
When?
Your law firm, your business is supposed to serve your life. Your life is not supposed to be about serving your law firm. Everything in your business plan needs to revolve around your goals. The scariest thing, and I mean it's scary, the scariest thing that I help anyone do is get honest about their real goals. I have this question that I've asked literally over 10,000, I'm not even going to say lawyers, even though most of them were, adults, men, women, husbands, fathers, mothers, wives, sisters, brothers, parents. It is terrifying. But what your clients and what your staff needs most from you is leadership. And it's really hard to be in integrity and ask your clients to be honest with you about what they really want to achieve and why it really matters to them if you are not willing to be and can't find the courage to be honest with yourself about what matters to you and why it matters to you. We talk about your law firm serving you financially. At the end of the day, life is meant to be lived, and to live a great life requires us to have access to things. And the only way for us to have access to things is either to make it, to steal it, or to buy it. You're not going to make all the clothes you wear. You're not going to make the car you drive. You're not going to make the house you live in. You're not going to make the plane you fly in. We're just not going to do that in modern society. We're not going to steal it. That's not right. So we buy it. To buy things is an exchange of value. It's not hurting anyone for you to buy the car you really want to buy. It's not hurting anyone for you to buy the house you really want to live in. It's not hurting anyone for you to buy the services in your life that give you more freedom and allow you to live more comfortably. Everyone you're going to buy a product, a service, a piece of property from, they're entering into that exchange voluntarily. No one's forcing them to do anything. The day that I hired my house manager, I'm very sure that the first thing she did when she left the interview and we gave her this opportunity, I'm very sure that the very first thing she did was probably picked up her phone as soon as she got in her car and called someone she loves who cares about her and said, I have good news. You see, me making the decision to hire a house manager came as good news to the person who wanted that job so she could give her family a better life. You run a law firm, and as such, you are blessed to have a business that makes a profit as a byproduct. Your law firm makes money by helping other people have a better life. Your law firm makes money by solving important problems for your clients and helping them have a better life. Even if you're doing business to business, there's still an individual making the decision on behalf of the client that's a business, and that individual's life or career is being improved, and their business is being improved because of the services you provide. So suppressing your real desires and suppressing your goals and saying, I only want this, when in truth, your heart, you want that, it's not helping anyone. If you make a list of everyone who is better off when you live in the house you really want to live in, and everyone who's better off when you drive the car you really want to drive, and when you get the toys you really want to have, and when you employ the domestic services you really want to employ, and give your children the education you really want to provide for them. When you make a list of everyone whose life is better off, you'll find it's a really long list. And when you make a list of everyone who is worse off because you are living the way you want to live instead of just settling for whatever you can get, no one's better off when you settle. Everyone's better off when you go for what you want. And here's sort of the magic sauce to it all. When you're going for something that really matters to you, that inspires you, that motivates you, that excites you, you vibrate at a certain frequency, and that is going to attract the cooperation of all kinds of people from places you can't even begin to predict. I can't even predict. I just know it happens over and over and over and over again with everyone we work with when they finally get honest about what they really want in life. What are the financial goals? How do you really want to be living your life? And how much net income does your law firm have to produce for you to support that lifestyle? How many weeks per year do you really want to give your business? How many hours per week do you really want to give your business? When I ask this question, I get answers like, well, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And damn right you're willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. But I'm willing to do whatever it takes doesn't mean I want to live that way forever. I'm willing to do whatever it takes so that I can have a life and enjoy myself. You take 52 weeks in a year. Take 2 weeks for Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, all the major holidays you probably don't want to work. They add up to 2 weeks per year. Now you're down to 50 productive weeks in a year. Now, I've worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of emotionally mature adults who have real relationships, and almost everyone finds that life just happens about 2 more weeks out of the year. You're going to get sick. Your best friend's going to get married. Your kids are going to need you to be somewhere for them. Your spouse is going to need you to be there for them, to give them a shoulder to cry on. Whatever, life's going to happen about 2 more weeks out of the year. And I don't want you budgeting. I want you to budget those 2 weeks so that when life happens, you can really be fully present there for the people that matter most to you. Not, at the wedding looking at your watch at all the billable hours you're missing. Budget the time so you can have a life. Now you're down to 48 weeks. Then you want to take a vacation. Most people want to take at least a 2-week vacation every year. Now you're down to 46 productive weeks in a year. How many hours do you want to give the firm? Listen, I have had weeks where I work literally 70, 80 hours. But I do that when I have to, not because I want to. That's a recipe for burnout. How many hours per week do you really want to give your firm? Most people, if you are doing work you really like to do, and your processes and your systems and your procedures are working for you pretty well, and your team is working pretty well together, most people really get kind of bored if we're not working about 45 to 50 hours a week. Generally about 44 to 46 weeks a year on average. If you hate your work so much and you hate your firm so much that you want to get away from it as much as you possible, and you only want to work as little as you need to and as few hours and as few weeks, that's a sign of a problem. That's not a fulfilling business that's going to inspire people to want to be part of it with you, to get excited with you, which of course is going to be part of what makes it so hard. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of problems. And professionally, what kind of work do you really want to do? What kind of difference do you really want to make in this world? I have an axe to grind. I have a point to make. I have a point to make an axe to grind and something to prove to the legal industry. I'm out to prove that happy lawyers really do make more money. I'm out to expose and crush the doctrine of sacrifice that has lawyers who have successful law firms apologizing and making excuses and acting like we just got lucky. For the legal industry teaches us that we should take pride in how much we suffer, and it teaches us that we should take pride in how much we sacrifice, and it teaches us that we should take pride in how stoic we can be and how much we can do without. But it doesn't say one single word about producing real value for anyone. I need to have an army of highly successful, happy lawyers to prove my point to the legal industry. I'm blessed to have over 375 happy, fast-growing, profitable, everything's not perfect, but they're kicking ass and they're making progress every day, members of How to Manage a Small Law Firm. And my professional mission requires me to help you make your law firm work for you. What are your professional goals? How do your professional goals, your clients and your prospects, how do your professional goals excite and inspire and motivate your team? At the end of the day, your law firm needs to work for you. You are not supposed to work for your law firm. There's an exercise, we'll share a link somewhere in this video or website, or Jimbo will take care of it, and we'll make sure we include a link for a goal setter exercise for you, where you can set your financial goals, you can set your personal goals, you can set your professional goals. We'll give you access to a dashboard that you can enter certain key information every week, and you literally can see pictures begin to develop showing you the path from where you are, making progress towards where you want to be, or not making progress towards where you want to be. And if you see you're not making progress towards where you want to be, maybe you'll let us help you. And if you are making progress towards where you want to be, maybe you'll let us help you get there faster, easier, with less stress, with more predictability, or maybe just not feel so lonely and become part of our community of happy lawyers. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a long day. It's about 11 o'clock at night. We're cruising back on Biscayne Bay from having dinner on the Miami River. And I'm going to end this, and then we're going to hit full throttle and steer back on radar. All right?
But before we end it,
we
really want them to
Oh,
join
yeah.
us.
But before we end it,
If they enjoyed this,
if you got some value from this, I mean, this is just a little tiny, just a little tiny morsel of what's in store for you in the 4-week virtual program that you're going to do from home. You're still going to have live telephone interaction with me and my team, You're still going to have live interaction every week with my team. It's a live course. You're going to listen to the recordings to prep you. Then you're going to be given a homework assignment to implement the lesson you learned. Then you're going to get on the call each week to talk about the homework you did to get help and personal attention. And of course the discussion forum and archives and library and all kinds of great stuff. So I hope you'll sign up for that, and I hope you're getting some value, and thanks in advance for the comments you're going to make to this video also. Help you any way we can. All right?